Hi, I'm Paris, and it's been a month now since I've been using Control GX as my daily shampoo, and I've seen a lot of change in the color of my hair. I'll show you some pictures in this video from a month ago, 2 weeks ago, up to now. See what you think about that. But that's not the only thing that has changed color. I'll update you on the staining situation as well, and tell you where I go from here, my next 2 weeks, what mode I'll be in for the next video.
Epic review, guys.
In case you missed my 3 previous Control GX videos, I'll put a link at the end of this video up in the corner so you can watch that playlist, see how it all started, find out more about how it works, and see it actually lathered up on my head in the shower. This tube goes for about $8, and I'll link to it down below this video. This has lasted me nearly a month now, and there's still a couple days worth left in it, so for the amount of hair I have, this is 1 month's worth of shampoo conditioner with the added benefit of getting rid of most of the gray. It actually wasn't until about the 3rd or 4th day of using Control GX that I started to notice a little bit of a silver tint appearing where there was just plain whitish gray before in my hair. To demonstrate what a subtle effect it was, my 13-year-old daughter, when I started, I didn't tell her I was doing this, but after a few days I said, "Do you notice anything different about me?" And she, "I don't know, I see you every day, I won't notice any change. Did you lose weight? Is that a new shirt?" So she didn't notice anything. I asked a few days later, up to about day 10, when she went off to camp for 2 weeks. So at 10 days in, she still said she could see no difference in me. However, a few days ago when I went and picked her up from camp, the first thing she said is, "What happened to your hair?" Of course, she then said, "Put it back to normal." Now, I like the amount of gray reduction that I had at right about 2 weeks, where it was much lighter than this, but significantly darker than how I started out. That was dark enough to have some effect of making me look younger, and I ran a poll in the video at 2 weeks, and that seemed to confirm that. Somewhere between 2 and 5 years it took off my age, and it still, I thought, looked okay with my beard, which was my original natural gray color. Wasn't too different, so it didn't stand out. But since then it got to the point that this was so dark and this was so gray that it just, I thought people were looking at me kind of funny, or it just became obvious I must be dyeing my hair because of the color of the beard. At least that's how I felt. So I shaved off the beard about a week back. Here's a look from the side, and the back, and the other side, and how it looks under the surface layer. And here's some pictures showing the progression from a month ago to now. So Control GX did its job. And I have no complaints about how it performed as a shampoo or conditioner. Did a good job cleaning my hair, feels reasonably soft. And it was a fairly slow and subtle progression of darkening, at least early on. People who saw me daily didn't notice any change, but by the time you get to a month, I think it's kind of hard to miss. Now for the negatives of using this gray reducing shampoo, I can count the first 10 of them on 2 hands. Take a look at the nails. First on my left hand here. I'm right-handed, so my right hand is in the shampoo more scrubbing my head than my left hand. And my right hand. Yeah, that's definitely noticeable. For the first couple weeks, I wasn't sure that it was getting progressively worse. It seemed like some days I didn't notice it as much, but if you look, you can see that near the nail bed, it's lighter, and as you go out, it gets darker, which the only explanation for that is that it's a cumulative day-by-day process. My nails are getting dyed a little bit each day, just as my hair is. And unless I change the way that I shampoo my hair, I use a scrubber so I don't have to get my fingers in the lather, or I use a suggestion from the Just For Men company that I just put the shampoo on the palms of my hand and rub it around on my head. But I don't care for doing that because I don't feel like I'm really getting my hair clean if I haven't got my fingers and nails in there, giving it some scrubbing. Now in my daily life, the little bit darker nails doesn't often come up. Well, people don't mention it to me anyway, but I notice it because I do daily videos and I'm always doing close-ups holding the product, and in the screen I can see the dark nails and think, oh, that doesn't look good. But if you're not showing your fingernails up close on YouTube, maybe it won't be an issue for you. Next up, does Control GX rub off on your towel when you get out of the shower, on your pillowcase when you get out of the bed? I found, and I've done a very careful job of rinsing it thoroughly, I've had no problem with that. Now they mention that if you do get stains on the towel, on the bedding, it'll come out in regular washing. So I didn't really mean to test this out, but in a previous video I did a demonstration with a glass bowl showing how the lather turns purple once it gets into the water, and I spilled accidentally some of that water on the towel, and it left some mottled purple stains, which I'll include the picture of here. And I have now washed this towel again with other towels, just regular soap and fabric softener. Let me show you what it looks like now. So this is after maybe it's been 3 washings, but everything has disappeared except 2 very faint little purple spots left on this towel. So apparently the stains do come out with washing, or at least are very greatly reduced, but may take more than one go round. Here in the shower, I've been careful to rinse off any shampoo that got onto the tile, and I haven't had a problem with the floor of the shower getting stained, even though it's got that purple water on it. But up here, where there's a painted surface, I do have some dots that I didn't catch right away. And they stained. I rinsed them off when I found them, but I don't think they're going to come out completely. A few more over here. I don't know if I caught them right away and rinsed them off. I think I wouldn't have gotten the stains, but they may have been there a week or more before I saw them. And other than that, there's just the faintest smell of hair dye that I notice usually when I have my head all lathered up and I'm standing in the shower for a minute with nothing to do, waiting for it to do its thing. I'll notice a little bit then, but after I've rinsed it out, like right now, I don't notice any smell. And no one has mentioned any chemical kind of smell walking by me. If there were, my kids would definitely let me know. So other than the fingernail issues, I really like Control GX. I like the fact that I don't have to do anything really different than I would do anyway, getting in the shower and shampooing my hair every day. The gray hair really doesn't bother me enough to go through the trouble of dyeing my hair every 2 weeks or every month with actual dye and the plastic gloves and the waiting with the timer and all of that. I know I shouldn't let it bother me at all, that the gray hair should be a gray badge of courage, that I've survived half a century. I should be proud of it and even want to show it off rather than hide it. So in modern society with gray hair, I gotta tell you, I get no respect. Though I have heard orange hair may be the way to go. In any case, I think this shade of hair is a little too dark for me to pull off, maybe if I had a younger looking face. So I'm going to take my daughter's advice and put it back to normal, or at least let it get back to what I think is a more natural shade, something that will match the natural color of my beard so I can grow that back in. So here's my plan. For the next 2 weeks, I'm going to go into maintenance mode. This is where you change from shampooing with it every day to every other day or every third day. I'm going to go to every other day. I doubt I can keep it this dark doing that, but for the next 2 weeks, it'll be every other day. I'll do a follow-up video to let you see how maintenance mode is working, and then I'm going to stop it completely and see how long it takes for it to either grow out or wash out and get me back to where I started. Those videos will be waiting for you in your recommended video list if you click the subscribe button and the bell next to it down below this video. Find out more about Control GX at the link in the description box. See you on the next review.
Epic review, guys. Wanna watch it all?